Once individuals cross the age of 60, their physical forms start transforming in subtle manners that often go unnoticed initially. Articulations grow more rigid, muscular regeneration decelerates, equilibrium gets a bit wobbly, and nocturnal resting phases frequently turn shallow and easily disrupted. A large number of older individuals assume this is just an inescapable consequence of growing older. However, in various districts of Japan, where locals routinely thrive into their 90s and even surpass the century mark senior, citizens adhere to an entirely distinct ideology. Rather than resigning themselves to joint stiffness, inadequate slumber, and twilight aches as standard, they employ minor evening rituals to delicately prime their physiques for relaxation and healing. Medical professionals analyzing life expectancy in these Japanese populations observed that numerous elderly folks execute a brief sequence of sluggish motions prior to slumber. These are not rigorous workout regimens or intricate gymnastics, but rather rudimentary bodily shifts intended to loosen musculature, enhance blood flow, and soothe the neurological pathways. Taking merely a handful of minutes, these exercises assist in mitigating nocturnal discomfort, encourage superior rest, and maintain bodily suppleness even in the later stages of life. Scholars hypothesize that these mild pre-sleep routines could have an unexpected function in shielding joints, bolstering circulation, and facilitating overnight biological restoration. The most fascinating aspect is that these physical actions demand zero specialized gear, no fitness center memberships, and barely any physical exertion, meaning virtually anyone beyond their 6th decade can securely attempt them. Truthfully, countless Japanese seniors report noticing a positive shift after merely a couple of evenings, rousing with reduced rigidity and increased vitality at dawn. In this presentation, we will dive into 5 straightforward twilight exercises modeled after the regimens utilized by senior citizens in Japan, motions formulated to loosen the physique, aid robust circulation, and prep the brain for profound slumber. While several might appear astoundingly basic, contemporary research indicates they trigger vital internal mechanisms governing agility, joint wellness, and perhaps even overall lifespan. Prior to diving in, please share your current age in the comments section and let us know if you already stretch or exercise before turning in for the night. Your personal journey might assist another viewer in finding a routine that transforms their morning experience. Movement 1. Activating the lower body circulation, the Piva hands. Initial physical action many Japanese elders engage in prior to sleeping is frequently characterized as awakening the feet before letting the body rest. While it might seem counterintuitive initially, there is a crucial rationale underlying this practice. As individuals mature, blood flow within the calves and feet frequently diminishes. Blood has a tendency to accumulate in the lower extremities as the day progresses, particularly following extended durations of remaining seated or upright. This pooling can result in twilight muscle spasms, restless leg syndrome, or that recognizable sensation of rigidity upon rising from the mattress at sunrise. Seniors in Japan tackle this issue with a highly straightforward motion performed while supine on the mattress. Once situated comfortably, they gently elevate both feet a slight distance above the bed and commence a soft flexion and extension of their toes, moving them to and fro for approximately half a minute. The movement is deliberate and regulated, simulating the act of depressing and then letting go of an automobile's accelerator. This minor physical engagement stimulates the calf musculature, frequently referred to as the body's secondary heart, since they assist in propelling blood upward to the torso. Investigations into vascular health and the aging process indicate that even mild ankle articulation can drastically boost circulation in the lower limbs, mitigating nighttime puffiness and irritation. Numerous older individuals residing in Okinawa claim that this specific exercise alone assisted them in banishing the excruciating leg cramps that previously jolted them awake at midnight. Movement 2. Unwinding spinal tension. The subsequent motion targets an issue that a vast majority of individuals over 60 grapple with, yet seldom considered during their twilight hours: rigidity of the spinal column. Over the course of the day, gravitational pull compresses the vertebrae, and the musculature supporting the back constricts due to seated postures, ambulation, or domestic chores. If those muscle groups stay contracted during resting hours, the physique is unable to achieve total relaxation, which could play a part in substandard sleep patterns and dawn backaches. Elders in Japan frequently execute a sluggish spinal rotation while lying flat on their backs. With their knees flexed and solace placed on the bed, they delicately drop both knees to a single side while ensuring their shoulders remain flat on the mattress. This maneuver is never strained or aggressively pushed. Rather, they maintain the posture for roughly 10 seconds before deliberately replicating the action on the opposite side. This mild torsion liberates built-up stress in the lumbar region and pelvis while simultaneously engaging the neural pathways traveling alongside the vertebrae. Physiotherapists routinely advocate for comparable exercises to boost agility and diminish twilight back pain in the elderly. Fascinatingly, Japanese senior citizens assert that this action achieves more than merely loosening the back muscles. Many profess that it assists in silencing the internal monologue prior to sleep, serving almost as a biological cue that daytime activities have concluded, and it is the hour to recover. Movement 3. Releasing the pelvic region. Third exercise might actually be the one that astounds individuals the most, as it zeroes in on a physical zone that many elderly individuals neglect to nurture at night: the hips, which have a massive impact on equilibrium, walking steadiness, and the avoidance of tumbles after reaching 60 years of age. Having robust and limber hips is paramount for ambulatory balance and dodging falls, which medical practitioners repeatedly flag as one of the most significant medical hazards for older demographics. Within Japan, numerous older citizens execute a soft hip-opening sequence while resting contentedly on their backs before dozing off. Once nestled in bed, they deliberately draw a single knee towards their ribcage, cradling it softly with both hands slightly beneath the kneecap. The limb is never forced or yanked violently. The objective is merely to permit the ball and socket joint to loosen and expand marginally while the adjoining muscles let go of the strain gathered throughout daylight hours. They sustain this stance for roughly 15 seconds, inhaling and exhaling with slow depth before alternating to the opposite leg. What renders this exercise exceptionally potent is the way it enhances the flexibility of the hip, flexors, and gluteal muscles tissues that grow taut from extensive periods of sitting or diminished everyday movement. Studies in physical rehabilitation demonstrate that soft pelvic flexibility drills can refine walking mechanics, alleviate stress on the lower spine, and even lower the probability of tripping in older folks. A multitude of Japanese elders mention that this uncomplicated shift aids them in rising with a sensation of lightness at dawn, experiencing decreased rigidity when getting up or taking their initial strides of the morning. Movement 4. Soothing the nervous system following the relaxation of the pelvic area. Elderly individuals in Japan frequently transition to a practice that is even more soothing: an action that concentrates not on the musculature or skeletal joints, but rather on the neurological network itself. The fourth twilight ritual might appear almost excessively basic to carry any weight, but scientists analyzing resting patterns among the elderly hypothesize that it could be among the most potent methods to prime the biology for profound slumber. This involves unhurried respiration paired with mild shoulder shifting. After getting into a comfortable lying position, the seniors elevate their shoulders marginally towards their earlobes, while drawing in air deliberately through their nasal passages. and subsequently permit the shoulders to fall entirely as they expel the air through their mouths. This sequence is iterated at a slow pace between 5 and 10 times. Although it looks subtle, this physical act loosens the trapezius muscles situated in the upper spine and cervical region, zone where countless individuals unconsciously harbor anxiety throughout their waking hours. Even more crucially, the unhurried breathing rhythm engages the parasympathetic nervous system, frequently designated as the biology's recover and repair setting. As this network activates, the cardiac rhythm decelerates, muscle fibers slacken, and the cerebrum starts transitioning into the more profound phases of sleep that are vital for physical restoration. Slumber researchers have determined that regulated respiratory drills prior to resting can substantially curtail midnight arousals and boost the comprehensive quality of sleep, especially for those past their 60th year. Japanese senior citizens frequently remark that this exercise feels equivalent to muting the clamor of the daylight hours, permitting both their physical form and consciousness to find tranquility. Movement 5. Calming the sensory nerves. There remains one concluding motion that numerous long-living elders in Japan champion before shutting their eyelids for the evening, and it might just be the most elementary of the entire set. It entails no elongating, rotating, or hoisting of any body parts. Instead, it hones in on an area the physique silently relies upon for nocturnal healing: mild blood flow traversing the palms and digits, which surprisingly holds a function in pacifying the whole body prior to slumber. The fifth and final routine, implemented by many older Japanese folks, focuses on the hands, an element most individuals barely ponder when readying themselves for bed. However, the hands house a compact web of nerve endings linked to the cerebrum, shoulders, and upper vertebral column, and delicately rousing them before sleep can produce an astonishingly tranquilizing impact on the broader nervous system. Many elderly individuals in Japan deliberately interlock their digits while resting in their beds and softly twirl their wrists in compact loops, initially in one orientation and subsequently the reverse. Following that, they gently unclench and clench their hands a few times, fanning the fingers out expansively prior to letting them go slack again. This action takes under 60 seconds. Yet it fosters blood circulation in the forearms and palms, zones that frequently grow rigid following a day spent clutching items, operating mobile devices, preparing meals, or executing chores. Certain elders even softly knead each digit using their alternate hand, a technique that classical Japanese health regimens have advocated for centuries to lessen strain and encourage pre-sleep tranquility. Contemporary investigations have begun endorsing this concept, demonstrating that soft activation of the hands can trigger sensory nerve pathways that assist in soothing cerebral function and readying the biological systems for more profound resting cycles. As the palms loosen, the shoulders and cervical region usually do the same, shedding concealed stress that countless folks unknowingly drag into their beds every single night. The power of gentle consistency. What truly makes these 5 evening motions potent is not merely each individual action, but the cohesive regimen they establish. Combined, they consume fewer than 5 minutes. Yet they delicately shepherd the body through a sequence of liberation, boosting lower limb circulation, loosening the spinal column, unblocking the pelvis, pacifying the respiratory rate, and alleviating strain in the palms and upper back. Japanese senior citizens frequently characterize this progression as notifying the body that the day has concluded, permitting the musculature, joints, and neural pathways to transition into their recuperation phase. Medical professionals who investigate extended lifespans hypothesize that such regimens might assist in clarifying why numerous older individuals in Japan preserve superior agility, experience fewer midnight spasms, and enjoy more revitalizing sleep deep into their twilight decades. Perhaps the most uplifting aspect is that these physical actions are not restricted to individuals who are already athletic or limber. They are purposefully sluggish, soft, and approachable, formulated so that even a person who has avoided physical exertion for years can commence securely from the cozy confines of their mattress. As time progresses, minor evening rituals such as these can aid in safeguarding joint flexibility, minimizing dawn rigidity, and backing the body's native mending operations that take place while sleeping. Many seniors report that the genuine advantage surfaces progressively. Initially, the exercises merely feel soothing, but following a few weeks, they detect a more profound shift. They rise maneuvering with greater ease, experiencing diminished discomfort and amplified vitality for the upcoming daylight hours. This explains why such a large number of long-living elders approach their twilight regimen with the same gravity as their morning routines. Because although sleep rehabilitates the physique, the manner in which we prep for sleep could dictate how successfully that rehabilitation actually transpires. When individuals discover these twilight practices from Japanese elders, what they frequently find most astonishing is their sheer simplicity. In a society saturated with elaborate fitness regimens, pricey gear, and infinite wellness tips, the habits maintained by many long-living older folks are almost unbelievably soft. Nevertheless, this basic nature might actually be the exact reason they function so effectively. As our physical forms mature, rehabilitation takes precedence over vigor. Muscular tissue, articulations, and connective fibers react more favorably to steady, low-impact motion than to sporadic explosions of intense physical strain. Scientists examining regions with high longevity have observed that elderly folks who keep up daily mild agility regimens generally protect their joint operations and equilibrium significantly longer than those who stay sedentary for the majority of their waking hours. These twilight movements adhere to that precise ideology. Instead of tiring the physique, they silently replenish blood flow, diminish the strain gathered throughout the daylight, and prep the neural network for profound rest, which is the period when the biology executes a vast amount of its mending and renewal. During these deep sleep phases, growth-regulating hormones are secreted that aid in sustaining muscle mass, mending microscopic joint deterioration, and bolstering the immunological defenses. However, if an individual retires to bed feeling tight, rigid, or anxious, it could require a significantly longer duration to achieve these rehabilitative sleep tiers. That is the reason numerous sleep specialists currently advocate for brief evening unwinding sequences, particularly for individuals past their 60th year. The 5 motions utilized by elders in Japan organically steer the physique into this condition. The ankle and foot articulations bolster circulation and curtail midnight spasms. The soft spinal rotation liberates the compression that accumulates in the lower back all day. The knee to rib cage pelvic motion replenishes flexibility in joints crucial for ambulation and steadiness. The respiratory and shoulder relaxation triggers the parasympathetic nervous system, permitting the biology to transition into its resting and mending setting. And the concluding hand and digit exercises soothe the sensory nerves linking the palms to the cerebrum, shrinking residual strain in the upper torso. When these minor actions are fused into a straightforward nightly sequence, they emit a robust cue to the biology that it is time to relax, mend, and replenish. Many elders in Japan emphasize that the secret is not executing the motions flawlessly, but rather executing them dependably. Even a mere 2 or 3 minutes nightly can start transforming how the physique feels at dawn. As time goes on, individuals frequently detect reduced rigidity upon leaving their mattresses, fewer nocturnal muscle cramps, and a profound feeling of tranquility before slumber. Certain seniors even mention that the regimen transforms into an activity they anticipate eagerly, a tranquil interlude at the conclusion of the day where the physique and consciousness gradually let go of the anxieties of everyday existence. And although these motions might appear minor, their extended impacts can silently bolster some of the most vital elements of wholesome aging: agility, equilibrium, blood flow, and superior sleep. However, before you attempt these exercises tonight, there is a crucial nuance that many Japanese elders highlight which renders the regimen even more impactful. And surprisingly enough, it is unrelated to the physical actions themselves. The detail they stress is astonishingly basic. Decelerate your pace and focus on how your physique feels while executing the motions. Within many contemporary regimens, individuals hurry through stretches or workouts as if they were chores to finish as fast as possible. But longevity experts analyzing Japanese health customs noted that seniors tackle these exercises differently. They shift at a snail's pace, inhale calmly, and regard the handful of minutes prior to slumber almost like a tranquil ceremony rather than an exercise session. This intentional methodology might actually constitute one of the most potent components of the sequence. When motions are executed sluggishly and paired with relaxed breathing, the cerebrum starts shifting away from the vigilant, stress-fueled state that overpowers the bulk of the day. Cortisol concentrations slowly drop, the cardiac rhythm decelerates, and the biology transitions into a condition where rehabilitation procedures can commence more effectively. Sleep experts frequently clarify that readying the body for sleep holds equal importance to the actual sleep. Countless older individuals grapple with drifting off, not due to a lack of fatigue, but because their neural network remains in an engaged, vigilant setting resulting from daytime anxieties, digital displays, or late evening stimulation. These soft twilight exercises function as an indicator to the body that the daylight hours are concluding. The musculature unwinds, blood flow surges, respiration deepens, and the consciousness slowly finds peace. Over the course of weeks and months, this minor evening practice can forge a robust cadence that bolsters superior recovery and more effortless mobility during daylight hours. Japanese elders frequently remark that growing older successfully is not about engaging in radical activities, but about performing small beneficial actions every single day. 5 minutes prior to resting might appear trivial, yet when replicated evening after evening, it morphs into a practice that bolsters suppleness, blood flow, and sleep quality for decades. And the brilliant aspect of this methodology is that absolutely anyone can start tonight. There is zero specialized equipment needed, no fitness club subscription required, and no intricate methodology to conquer. Simply resting on your mattress, shifting your physique softly, inhaling at a slow pace, and permitting strain to dissipate can commence the process of teaching the body to unwind more profoundly each evening. Countless seniors who integrate these elementary practices report noticing the shift progressively. They rise experiencing slightly less rigidity, their lower limbs spasm less frequently, their lumbar region feels more at ease, and drifting into sleep turns into an easier endeavor. These constitute minor enhancements initially, but over the long haul, they accumulate into something significantly more substantial, a physical form that persists in moving, resting, and mending with greater ease even past the age of 60. If you have crossed your 60th milestone, think about testing out these 5 twilight motions tonight and observe how your physique reacts over the ensuing days. Occasionally, the most minuscule habits maintained dependably can forge the most massive shifts in how we mature.